Welcome to Freeze Your Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Podcast where we talk about the comedic side and serious side of parenting, life, and relationships. We are boy parents. We have two boys, Enzo and Rhett, with about a 6-year age gap between the two. You can check out our website, freezeyourmilk.com. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Freeze Your Milk Podcast. Thanks and hope you enjoy. Welcome back.
Happy Thanksgiving after.
Week after Thanksgiving.
We survived it. Although ours was pretty quiet. We decided this year that we weren't going to do a whole lot, so ended up just being us. We didn't even do a Thanksgiving meal or anything. We went simple. We got dairy-free pizza. How they make dairy-free pizza? Great question.
Find all the things in life when you're dairy-free.
Yep.
Rhett got a rash, though, that night, remember?
Mm.
It was really bad.
Yes, it was. Broke out for whatever reason. Detergents or something.
Yeah.
Something got to him. It was a long weekend. You know,
Yeah.
Big parenting weekend. And not for Rhett. Rhett was actually really good, but we had some troubles early on with Enzo.
Enzo just had a bad Saturday.
Yeah,
I don't know what the heck happened.
He's been acting up for a few weeks.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little bit of anxiousness and like attention-seeking behavior because the baby's gonna be here soon, and I think he's subconsciously realizing like that means less attention for everybody because a newborn requires a lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean, he's figuring out quickly that he's no longer only child, and you know, because right now, Rhett being young takes priority. I mean, not priority, but he takes a lot of attention from us, and I think Enzo, he senses that, he sees it, he feels it, and he's just been, and it's really uncommon for him because he's normally really well behaved.
Yeah, and I think it's because like Rhett's almost 2, so it's not like not being an only child is new to him, but I think that Rhett requires a different level of attention right now because he's getting into like the crazy toddler, tries to, unalive himself every second of every day and just no fear. Like, he just requires constant attention.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably playing a part a little bit too, is that Rhett Rhett required a different type of attention when he was younger, where he needed someone to like hold him or watch him, but he couldn't really get himself into trouble because he wasn't super mobile. And now Rhett is mobile and curious and wants to get into everything.
Yeah, we actually got to the point on Saturday that we were so frustrated we decided to call the nanny and have her come watch the kids while we went to a movie.
Mm-hmm. It was a hard night though, because Enzo got up at 3 with leg pain, and then Rhett woke up at 4 to start his day Saturday morning.
Got me up, or got you up.
Got me up, you slept. And then Enzo didn't start the morning off good, and I had been up and not slept and was very cranky. And then you came out, and I was like, good, thank God, take the kids. And like,
that didn't go over well.
That made you cranky. Because I like walked into the room sobbing because I was so exhausted. And like, pregnancy exhaustion is just different, man. It sucks. So I was so tired. So that steamrolled into you not being in a good mood, and Enzo and Rhett sensing that I was not in a good mood and you weren't in a good mood. And so we went to a movie.
Yeah. It worked out. I mean, other than when we got back.
27 Rocks. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead and elaborate.
You saw it first. Feel free.
Yeah, we had done a day date to go see a movie. And while we were on that date, we decided we were able to kind of have some time to discuss the kids and especially Enzo and the behaviors he's been, presenting to us recently. And, we were discussing that, it's not like him because, again, he is a very his behaviors are normally really good, and he's normally he's a good kid. I mean, and we came home, and I noticed they had been out back, so I went out back because I thought I saw something in the pool, and I'm looking around, and there's like 30 rocks from our yard in the pool, and I thought maybe, because there's a lot of houses around our neighborhood that are getting pools done, maybe they, are getting shotcrete or something like that, and came over the fence, but I pulled some of the rocks out of the pool, and it was our rocks, so I knew that Rhett wouldn't have done it because the nanny would have been watching him the full time, so I knew Enzo
it's too far.
Yeah, I knew
because it's like through the fence.
Yeah, I mean, you literally have to throw these rocks through the fence into the pool. So I knew it was Enzo, so I told him to come out, and I said, hey, I need you to answer a question, and answer it honestly. And I said, hey, did you throw rocks in the pool? And he goes, yeah, I wanted to see if they could bounce. And this was already after a really bad Saturday where he had been acting out. He had lost all screen time. He cried pretty much the majority of the day, just because he lost his screen time, because he got in trouble. He didn't do what he was supposed to be doing, et cetera, et cetera. So that just opened up a whole different deal for us. We were very frustrated by it. I was very frustrated by it.
Well, it's tough because, it's a brand new pool, and luckily, most of the vacuum suction stuff has, filter screens, but hypothetically, if it didn't, and a rock went through it into the pump and broke the pump, it's like $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much, but yeah, it's expensive.
It's expensive. It's a couple $1,000. Yeah, it's easy.
It's not cheap to fix, and the fact of the matter is.
And I could get if you were seeing if the rocks could bounce, aka skip across the water, I could get one or two, maybe even 5. 27 of them?
Yep, there was quite a few. So I was trying to teach him a lesson. So I told, and out here, air temperature is 65 and the pool water's 55. So I told him, I said, go get your swimsuit on. You're going to go in and get every single one of these rocks out of the bottom of the pool. So he got all excited. He thought he was going swimming. And he went and got his trunks on and came out through the gate, and he put one foot in and said, no way. He was just deflated.
He didn't say no.
He didn't say no because he knew he was in trouble. He knew he had to do it. But he was just deflated. He was almost demoralized in a way. Because
spoiler alert, we didn't actually make him get in. We're not going to
No, I wasn't actually going to make him get in the pool. But I wanted to teach him a lesson.
Yep.
So
he hemmed and hawed around for 5 minutes with trying to put a foot in and then get him back out and trying to put his feet in. And
so I just told him, I said, hey, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to get all these rocks out of this pool. You're going to go change back into your clothes, and we'll have a conversation. So we did, and he ended up losing his switch, which is his, we regulate how much screen time he gets. He only gets 2 hours a day worth of screen time, whether it be on TV or on his Switch, because we don't want him on devices all day.
Yep.
Because again, that's one of his favorite things is a Switch and his gaming. He's really big into gaming, and that's what he loves to do. And I want to support him in that, but I also don't want him. I don't need him on his Switch for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
So we limit how much time he gets to that.
So we didn't used to be that way.
No.
As he's gotten older, we've noticed behavior changes with too much time
on
screens.
The screen. Yeah.
But when he was younger, if we were working and he was home for fall break, we'd be like, time limits are off. Just fucking play all day. I don't care.
Yeah, but we don't do that anymore.
No, I just want to make sure because
on his breaks now, he still gets the same amount of time.
Yeah, so it's changed over the years for sure.
Yeah.
But we told him because he was truthful that we weren't going to sell his Switch, that he was just losing it until he earned trust back. But I think that he sobbed, but I think it shocked him in a good way of oh, that was on the table. They might have sold it.
Yeah.
Not just take it away for a day or 2 days or 3 days, but gone. And I think it was kind of needed because I think he doesn't like losing screen time, but
the Switch is
knowing that the Switch could have been sold, I think just hit at a different level of him being okay, they're serious. This was not good what I did.
So we said, hey, look, we appreciate you being honest. So again, we're not going to sell your Switch. We were gonna, but you have lost all privileges until a certain date, and it's probably 2-3 weeks out. So
I think we said with the Switch just until he earned trust back. We didn't give him a 2-week, 3-week.
Oh, but we said TV.
Yeah.
TV, we said a couple weeks.
Yeah, and then the
Switch is indefinitely until
he earns trust.
He earns the trust back. So, and it was actually kind of a good thing because the following 2 days that we had him before he went to his dad's house, he had to learn how to self-play. And
that night he struggled because we also told him, like, hey, because at this point it was almost 6 o'clock and he goes to bed at 8, and we're just like, hey, like, you lost the ability to hang out with us tonight and do, like, family time.
Because we were both burnt.
We were really upset, and, like, we knew, like, this would not be a healthy environment of us being this, like, emotional and mad and, like, burnout and, like, up since 3-4 a.m., just tired. It was just not a good combination to be around, trying to hang out with him in a fun, supportive way.
Yep.
And so we said, hey, look, like, he's big on quality time, so part of your punishment is, like, you lost this quality time with us for the last 2 hours of tonight. You can listen to audiobooks in your room, you can play in your playroom, no screens, but, like, you can read a book, you can do puzzles, you can do Legos, you can do Bakugan, like, whatever you want. I'm not saying you can't do anything. But he went and sulked in his playroom for, like, an hour, just laid on his couch crying with a blanket. And I was like, oh man, like, he really just wants us to go in there and give him attention. And we didn't do it. We just, kept an eye on him.
The ironic thing is we watched him on, because we have cameras in that room.
Yeah.
We watched him on the cameras on our phone the entire fucking time.
Yeah. Just to make sure, like, he was fine. But he was just sulking and mad. And he finally got a puzzle out and started it. And then it was time for bed. But the next day, he got up in the morning, came out, said good morning, and then, like, went and did the puzzle and, like, finished the puzzle so that, like, Rhett could go back there at some point later in the day. And then, like, he played with Rhett for a little while, and then Rhett took a nap and he, like, went outside and, like, we're just, like, totally found things to do.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And he was in such a better mood. He had such a good attitude. It was crazy to see, like, the difference.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Switches and devices, but I
think he just needed a little bit of that reality check of, like, hey, this
is a privilege.
Yeah, and, like, the worst punishment that we would do this is not just, take away for a day. Like, we can sell it. Like, we have that right.
Yep.
And I think that kind of snapped him into reality a little bit about, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was the back half of the weekend, the last 2 days of the weekend were pretty up and down, I think.
They were a challenge, for sure. We don't really use the Santa card, though.
No, what was the Santa card? You said that.
Like, a lot of us, because I was, talking with a friend of mine about it, because I was like, hey, I feel like I'm a terrible mom. Like, why is my kid acting out like this? And just venting about it to a fellow mom and getting her insight. Because she has 2 that are further apart in age as well. But she was like, you don't use the Santa card? Like, oh, like, you gotta be on your best behavior. Christmas is coming. I was like, no, actually not really. Why haven't I thought about that? I should use the Santa card more.
I don't know. It was a challenging weekend. And then came Monday. And here we are again, just kind of Tuesday.
Getting through?
Mumbling through the week. I think we got those weeks are long, because we have a shared agreement with Enzo's dad, and we get a week on, week off, and I think we do ourselves a disservice we've discussed this. Mm-hmm. We're doing ourselves a disservice with the week on, week off thing because, unfortunately, we look forward to the weeks off sometimes, and. But
then it's funny because Rhett really likes playing with Enzo right now.
Yeah.
And so we also, we look forward to the week off to have, one less kid to worry about. Mm. But we look forward to the week on because Rhett gets a play buddy again.
Yeah.
And Rhett, towards the end of the week where Enzo's gone, Rhett will start walking around the house, asking for him, looking in his room, looking at the garage, trying to figure out where he's at. And it's interesting because he's really moving into that space of like, I know that he's here and I know that he's gone, and when is he coming back because I want to play.
Yep. Yeah, because he Enzo plays differently than we do. So, plus they're close in size.
Rhett loves doing whatever Enzo does too.
Yeah.
Rhett's been giving really big kisses this week.
Yeah, almost a little too much.
he grabbed my face the other day and like my hair and my ears and like pulled my face to his and like shut his eyes lovingly and just tried to like kiss me for like a solid 2 minutes straight. And I kept trying to pull my head back and he'd like yank it towards his face again. I was like, where are you getting this? Like, we don't even make out like that in front of him.
Right.
Like, where are you getting this from? Just so much love.
Yeah. It's okay.
It cracks me up.
Yeah.
We've discovered that Red is, he's definitely not a smiles when he wakes up baby.
No.
You ought to tell about the photo you sent me this morning.
Oh, yeah, I went to get him, because he's on a schedule. I mean, he gets up between 4:45 and 5:15 every morning, like clockwork. So he's on his little schedule. So I went to go get him this morning, and he was a little bit more upset this morning than usual. But I pulled him out of his crib, and we let him sleep with stuffies. He's got 3 stuffies and his water bottle. Well, I went to pull him out of the crib, and he was, clasping on to his 3 stuffies and his water bottle. I said, okay, I don't want to try and pick you up with all this stuff. Let's put a couple stuffies down. Well, no, he wasn't having that. I said, well, let's put the water bottle down. No, he wasn't having that. So I picked him up. I was like, I'm not going to fight you. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I picked him up with all his stuffies in his water bottle, brought him out here and sat on the couch, and he didn't let him go for like 15 minutes. Just sat there.
Scowling.
Looked like grumpy cat. And I'm like, I sent Bridget a picture early this morning, and I was just like, yeah, this is what we're doing this morning.
His eyebrows were like the grumpy cat. Like they were just so like furrowed brow, angry at life.
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
He's just not that like, your mom's noticed it, and people that are over, if he's like napping and wakes up from a nap.
He's not happy.
Like, it's not that he does not immediately want to be interacted with. He doesn't want to play. He just wants...
Shit, either do I if I wake up from a nap or wake up at all. I don't want to be interacted with.
Like, some babies there are out there, and maybe this baby will be that way. There's babies that, like, wake up and are, like, smiling, like, you came and got me, yay! No, Rat's not like that.
Nope.
Get me the fuck out of my crib!
Yeah, that's pretty much where he's at.
Don't try to talk to me yet. Just hold me or put me down and don't bother me. He's like a commercial for coffee.
Yeah.
I tried to make a poison soup tonight.
Yeah, elaborate on that one.
So we had like a pot roast, like mix, beef and veggies and stuff like that. And we had some like little mini potatoes in the pantry that I was like, oh, we should throw these in too. And they had little like spuds on them, little eyes or whatever. And I was like, hey, do you think these are fine to toss in? Like, yeah, it's fine, totally fine. So I toss it in, I season everything, give it like 3 hours, and then I go and stir it, and I'm like, all the eyes on the like potatoes turned like black, but the potatoes are like normal color. And I was like, it's not like it's not a slow cooker, and they're like in water. Like, why are they black? So I was gonna taste one, and I was like, you know what? Let me just Google just to make sure these are good. Well, apparently you're not supposed to eat the eyes or spuds of a potato. They contain high levels of toxin that can cause like food poisoning, vomiting, diarrhea, birth defects, and possibly death. And the Poison Control Center says do not eat them. So, lo and behold, made a 5-hour pot stew,
That we have to throw away.
that we're throwing away because we're not going to risk,
Diarrhea.
you
Profusely vomiting in the middle of the night.
Right?
I'm good.
I was like, damn it. Just wasted all of this food.
So you started crying.
I did. Like, I can't do anything right.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because the other night I had, what was it? It was the day after Thanksgiving. I had really bad Braxton Hicks, like bad. and I was cooking dinner, and like I had to like pull a stool up to the stove top to finish, like to sit down and finish making dinner. And that dinner did not turn out very good. Like I overcooked the pork chops, and the Brussels sprouts were not delicious at all. It was a pretty bad dinner. And so between that one and then a couple days later this one, I was just like, man,
struggle.
I'm struggling on cooking for some reason.
Yeah.
Had our midwife appointment this week.
Yeah.
Starting to dilate. It's very exciting.
Yeah, which is not something that you experienced in the past one. So
I know.
It's a start.
I mean, I still could like be weeks away. Doesn't mean anything.
I'm glad they checked you.
Yes.
And it wasn't me.
Yes. Yeah, I was 3 centimeters on the lower part of the cervix, and 1 centimeter on the upper part, I think.
Yeah, you're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, because I think with Rhett, at 40 weeks, I was 1 centimeter. And that was it.
Yeah.
So that was exciting to be like, oh, like, doesn't mean it's happening any sooner, but at least my body is already doing
what it's supposed to be doing.
What it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, so maybe by this time next week, who knows, our next podcast, we might have another little one running around here.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so exciting.
You never know.
I'm trying to get away from a Christmas baby.
Yes, I have a feeling it's going to happen on fucking Christmas Eve, but...
No. We're gonna try everything possible. Make it happen faster. Sooner.
Well, we hope everybody else had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, ours was a little rough, but, you know, we wanted to make sure that ours was simple. We didn't want to go anywhere because we traveled last year and we were just burnt by people, and we just wanted to be quiet. We didn't want to cook meals. You know, you're extra pregnant. You weren't feeling like cooking. I wasn't feeling like cooking.
Yeah.
We just kind of hung out and watched football and ate some dairy-free pizza. So
it was delicious. I think it was perfect.
But probably wrap it up here. We appreciate you guys listening, and we'll hopefully next week we'll have a new member of the family.
Hopefully, but probably not.
Knowing your body.
No.
Well, take care, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at
freezermilk.com
or Instagram.
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.